Are there any questions you want me to go over you're not sure about?
I'm saying.
Yeah. 17? Yeah. Someone catch those lights for me, please. Okay, so.
What were you? Good job, Scary.
Okay, so these are all the givens, right? Okay, so things to know. Let's see. We are trying to prove that angle A is congruent to angle E. Okay, so you could draw a picture if you wanted to, or we could start realizing that, let's see, A is supplement to B. There should be angles in there. C is supplement to D. C is supplement to, okay? So then I would go angle E is supplement to angle D, and that's substitution. Okay? So we're able to go E, we're going to plug E. E is supplementary to D. So this is a kind of a substitution on steroids that we're making a double substitution move on here. So we're taking this and plugging it here for that step right there. And then after that, we can go ahead and state that angle A is congruent to angle E. And that's just definition. Congruent supplements or something like that. That'd be where I would have went with that one. Okay. That was kind of one that I gypped you on avoidance on because 1, 2, 3, 4 givens, and I only give you 1 point out. Sorry, I didn't write the test. I would have had that as 4 different things. What else we come across on this that you want to take a look at? Yeah. 18. All right. Number 18, if you're solving for x, so these are vertical angles, so I can set them equal to each other. So then I can do this. And then I have to factor that, okay? So once I factor it, my magical number is negative 30, so I know I have to have alternating signs. I have to figure out which factors will add up to be negative 7. So 1 and 30, 2 and 15, 3 and 10. 3 and 10 works, where it's going to be the negative 10. So I have 2x squared.
It was me again.
10. What? Is you again? Okay. He's out of control. All right, minus 10x plus 3x minus 15 equals 0. What do we have in common between these two? I can factor out a 2x, and that leaves me x minus 5 behind. What can I factor out of these two? I can factor out a plus 3. That leaves me an x minus 5 behind. Note that I have that twice, so I have x minus 5 to factor out of each, and leaves me 2x plus 3. These are still equal to 0, so I'll go x minus 5 equals 0, so x equals 5. That's one answer. And then the other answer, I have 2x plus 3 equals 0, so 2x equals negative 3. And x equals negative 3 over 2. All right? Yeah. You do 19? So number 19, those two angles add up to 180. So I get 3x squared plus 18x, or excuse me, 8x plus 2x plus 172 equals 180. So let's bring everything over, set it equal to 0, combine any like terms. So I get 3x squared plus 10x. And if I bring over minus 180, I get negative 8. My magic number now is going to be negative 24. So I have alternating signs. So I have 1 and 24, I want the factors. 1 being positive, 1 negative, that add up to 10. 2 and 12, I could stop there. It's going to be those. So I get 3x squared plus 12x plus 2x. Oh, excuse me. That should be a minus. Minus 2x minus 8. What do do I have in common on these two? 3x, that gives me x plus 4. What do I have in common on these two? Factor out a negative. That's negative, so always factor negative out here. So I have x plus 4 on each, and 3x minus 2. Still set them equal to 0, so set each of those equal to 0, so I get x equals negative 4, and x equals 2 over 3. Okay? Yeah? There's a what?
A bug on the computer. Oh.
Where'd it go?
Lynn, it's on your paper.
Emma, it's in your hair.
Is that on your paper?
Jesus. Lynn, it's on your paper. That's right.
Where'd it go? Oh, okay.
Oh, stop
It's more fun to flick it around. Oh, it's a big old bug. There's a wasp.
I'm allergic to that thing.
It's not a wasp. It's Lucas's fault. Being that he's nonstop on his phone when he shouldn't be.
Dang, oh my gosh.
Alright. What, other than bugs on my computer, is there any other problems you want me to go over?
There are viruses on it.
Yeah. 2E. Okay. 2E, the answer is the statement is true and the contrapositive. So those are the only two that are true. So if you have two 45-degree angles, then they are complementary. The contrapositive, if you don't have complementary angles, then they are not 45-degree angles. Those always have to be true. Okay? The converse and the inverse aren't always necessarily true. If they are true, if all four terms are true, that means you can write a biconditional statement at that point. Did you find it?
Oh no.
Okay. You know, it's funny, because it just went into Don's water. You're going to drink it. Bugs in there.
Drink it, drink it.
Chug,
Come on,
chug,
Bob.
chug. All right. Any other questions on the testaroo? Good? All points available? All right. Coming back by, picking them up, please. Are you guys and girls starting to become password illiterate?
I just typed it, like, I just keep like a document
Mine's my password.
Well, I want to have the same password, and then there's always the one that was like, no, it has to
an
be.
exclamation point.
You have to use the shift key at least 17 times in your password.
Oh, yeah.
Yo, I'll take your money.
And the one that I can never remember, and it always ticks me off, I'm getting like an iTunes gift card, and I'll load like $80 in iTunes, and it's like, okay, I want to upload the song. It's like, what's your username and password? Why didn't you ask me that before? Like, I just put money onto that. I don't know. We're all so much safer that we have jillions of passwords and that we're becoming password illiterate. All right, homework was 3.5a. What kind of questions? It says write equations in slope-intercept form. So that's y equals mx plus b. Is there any questions on 3.5a? 3.5a. Any questions on it? Yeah. Lucas.
14.
14. Okay, we want to write an equation that is perpendicular to that, right? This is number 14. There's a 2x. Uh-oh, I just forgot. 2x plus 4y equals 3. And it goes through point -6, 0. All right, so I don't know what this slope is right now, so I'm going to put it in slope-intercept form. And just reduce where you need to. Okay, is that all right? So what is the slope of the red?
1/2.
Negative 1/2. So what does the perpendicular slope have to be? +2, right? Flip it over, change the sign. So from there, I can go ahead and use this equation. This was our point slope equation. And remember I said this is a valid one. Now, what frustrates me is if we have the answers in slope intercept form, it asked for it. Okay, so we'll have to solve for y on this. So this is x1, this is y1. And I'm going to put my perpendicular slope in here. So I have y minus 0 equals 2 times x what? Plus 6. So y minus 0, that's gone. Distribute over the parentheses. There we go. No Eugene. Yes, sir. 15. The y-intercept is -3. The x-intercept is 4. Ooh. 15. The y-intercept and the x-intercept. Let's see. Y-intercept -3. X-intercept 4. Is that what it was? Okay. So we have to think about what the y-intercept is. The y-intercept is this point. Is that okay?
Yeah.
So that means the x-intercept should be this point. Seem all right? So let's find the slope first, which is this equation. So I got 0 plus 3 over 4 minus 0. So I have 3 over 4 as my slope. Is that all right so far? Using my point slope equation, which is this. Y minus x1, so that's y plus 3, equals 3/4 times x minus 0. So y plus 3 equals 3/4 x. So y equals 3/4 x minus 3. Anything else? Is that right?
Oh.
Yep.
Numero 5.
That'd be 5. Y-intercept of 5 passes through the point 2, 1. So if the y-intercept is 5, that's the y-intercept. And then it passes through the point 2, 1. So
Oh.
is that all right?
Okay, yeah. I got
Go
it.
from there.
I got it.
Perfect. Anything else? Going once? Going twice?
Oh, can you do 12?
Well, man, we made it to a 2 count. 12, perpendicular 2, okay. And passes through this point. All right, what is the slope of this line right now? 3. And then the perpendicular slope has to be the opposite sign for reciprocal, so -1/3. So x1, y1. Use our point slope. We get y minus 2, so that's that. Equals -1/3 x minus 9. Distribute. Plus 3. Subtract 2. Done.
Nice.
All right. Make sure your name's on these, Sawyer, and hand them on forward, please. And if you would, get your notes out from last time as well. Get your notes out from last time, please. There's a second page to those. You got them. Oops.
So bad at this job. Oh, man.
All right. So, 5th period. Like that. Good to go. All right. All right, graphing linear equations. Reconnect previous skills for graphing linear equations from all three forms of linear. So you have standard form, which is ax plus by equals c, where a, b, and c are whole numbers. That's the way that you can use the cover method. You can find where it crosses the x-axis and the y-axis, so the intercepts. Then there's slope-intercept form, which is y equals mx plus b. And then you have point slope, which is y minus y sub 1 equals m times the quantity x minus x sub 1. Okay? All three have valuable things. A lot of time, point slope is the one that is the go-to, especially in calc. Okay? What is a slope-intercept form? Okay? Slope-intercept form. Well, you know that b, when you have y equals mx plus b, b is indeed the y-intercept, but if b is the y-intercept, it has to be a point. Okay, the y-intercept is an actual point that we cross. Our line crosses the y-axis. It's a nice point to use because it has a zero value as part of it, as the x component. But let's just kind of keep that in mind as we move forward. Can I move forward? Not yet. Identify the slope and the y-intercept as ordered pairs for each equation. Well, the y-intercept here is 0, 5. The slope is the slope a point? Is the slope a point? No. The slope is a map to allow you to find another point. Okay, so if you had one point given, the slope of that linear equation is going to be identical. Okay, so our y-intercept is 0, 5 up here. We have a slope of negative 2/3. What if I have the equation y equals x? What's my y-intercept? 0. So 0, 0. This crosses right at the origin. What is my slope here? Yeah, our slope is equal to 1. Some people prefer to put it 1 over 1. What's the correct answer? Both. Number 3, we have it out of order a little bit, so I always like to put it back in order. So now your y-intercept is the point 0, 8, and our slope is what? Negative 3 or negative 3 over 1, however you want to represent it. Doing all right?
Do we have the quiz on Friday?
I don't think so. I didn't look that far in advance. May I move on? I don't know. May he? Wait, that doesn't make sense. He didn't say can. All right, identify the slope of the y-intercept for the following. Well, I would solve these and divide everything by 2. So now my y-intercept is 0, 10, and my slope is 3 over 2. Okay, it's easier if you solve it for y in order to answer those questions. This one, I'm going to get y by itself, so I get y equals negative 8. Our y-intercept on this one is just 0, negative 8. What is my slope? What's missing? 0 is our slope because our x value is gone, right? If that was x equals a number, oh wait, here's one. I get x is equal to 6. Y-intercept? This is a vertical line going through 6. Y-intercept? Does not exist. DNE, right? What is my slope? Undefined. Undefined slope. Vertical lines always have an undefined slope. Vertical lines are not functions. There's a vertical line test doesn't pass. May I move on? All right, graph it. Okay. So this one crosses at negative 5. From that, I go up to right 1. Connect the dots, make it as straight as possible. Next one, let's graph that. Where's it across the y-axis? 2. Thank you. Slope up, negative 2 over 3, so down 2, right 3. Connect the dots. Are the blue and the red line perpendicular to each other? No, the slopes are, they might be opposite, but they're not opposite reciprocals. Then we have y equals -4, so that's down here. And this is a horizontal line. And then last one, x equals 6. So we go up to 6, and you make a vertical line. That's it. The only two things up there that are perpendicular are the vertical and horizontal lines. So C and D, or the green and black. Good? What is the point-slope form of a linear equation? What is the point-slope form of a linear equation? Okay? That's a go-to. It's an over and over. You need to be able to get to it, okay? So identify the slope and the point of the line. This is in point-slope form. Okay, so our slope is 1/3. Good. What is our point? -2 what?
3.
-2 comma 3. Always opposite. Always opposite. Okay, so that's a -2. That's a +3. What's my slope of this next one? -1. What is my point? 3, -4. Always opposite. Yeah.
So, on number 8, like if you're trying to find the point, do you not like distribute the negative first?
No. Because point slope is says what it is. There's a point and a slope there. You can find out of it easily. All right. All right. So let's graph these. So what's the point that comes out of this one? What's my point? -2, +3. Always opposite. And then we have a slope of. I have a sneeze. Up 1 and then 1, 2, 3 over. Here it comes. There it goes. Dude, that's such a kill. Oh man, I'll tell you. Oh, I was so looking forward to it. All right, what is my point on this one? +3, -4. Good. My slope is -1. So from this point, I'm going to go down 1, right 1. Connect the dots. Done. We doing all right? What is the standard form of a linear equation? This form can be used to find the x and the y-intercepts, okay? So standard form is ax plus by is equal to c. Things that aren't really talked a lot about. Are whole numbers, not fractions or decimals. Okay? You use the cover method to find where it crosses the x and y axis. Where it crosses the x-axis is a point. Where it crosses the y-axis is a point. So when you're doing this, when you're doing your cover method, that's what's going to happen. This is where it crosses the y-axis. This is where it crosses the x-axis. Okay? So, and literally when I say use the cover method, if I cover up the x becomes a 0. That means I've done that. I'm finding where it crosses y. Okay? If I cover this, I'm finding out where it crosses x, so my y value has to be negative, or 0, excuse me. Identify the x and the y-intercept as ordered pairs. Okay, so if I cover up the y, that means I'm plugging 0 in for the y. Agree? So what does x have to be equal to? 10. If I cover up the x, that means the x is being given 0. So if I cover up the x, what does y have to be? -6. There's my 2 points. Those are the only 2 points you would need in order to define the line. Okay, number 10, cover method. If I cover up the y, that means I'm plugging 0 in for y. So what does x have to be equal to? 3. If I cover up the x, it means I'm plugging 0 in for x. So what does y have to be? -4. Number 11. If I'm covering up the y, x equals 21 over 2, or 10.5. You could leave it like that. You can make it 10.5, make it 10.5. It's your choice how you want to do it. If I cover up the x, it means I'm plugging 0 in for x. What is my y going to be equal to? 3. Okay, even with fractions, it's going to work. Again, if I'm going to cover up the y, I'm plugging 0 in for y. So -1/3 x equals 4. So y, or x equals -12. Okay, you just multiply both sides by -3. If I cover up the x is gone, so that's a 0. So 2y equals 4, so y equals 2. And that's how the cover method works. Again, it finds where across the x and the y-axis. Finds you 2 points. All right, cover method on this one. Where if I cover up the y, what's x? 4. If I cover up the x, y is -6. Almost done. Let me get done. I'm almost done. This is my last slide. Okay, what about this one? If I cover up my y, what's my x equal to?
2. -2.
-2. If I cover up my y equals what? 5? Last one. If I cover up my y value, my x value is -3. If I cover up that, my y value is -7.5. Right? Got down there? That's it. That's how it works. Good. Okay. So 3.5b is your homework. That'll be due on Friday because we don't have this class tomorrow because of the testing day, right? And then on Tuesday next week, we quiz over sections 3.4 and 3.5. You have the opportunity. You got like 10 minutes left not to line up by the door, so some of you like to sneak away.
I'm sorry.